click on the Instagram thing in my bio, and it'll take you to my YouTube page. Good evening and welcome to Rory Talks Football, your daily Arsenal news, updates, my opinions, my reactions. I hope you're doing well. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe. Bottom right-hand corner. So much is going on at Arsenal at the moment. We're going to have a massive, massive summer. And this is the channel you want to be following for all of the updates on all of that stuff. Ross, good to see you. Terence, good to see you as well. There is so much to get into today. Lots of small things. Nothing massively major, but lots of small things. Dominic, good to see you as well. I hope you're doing well. We are over halfway through the week. Times are good. Big Champions League game tonight. AFC Murphy, good to see you as well. I've missed a few vids. Anything super important? Nothing super. I mean, Granit Xhaka is leaving. That was confirmed yesterday, so that's quite a big thing that you missed yesterday. Hopefully the stream doesn't crash today. Obviously, yesterday we did get through all of the news, but we missed out on Guess the Gooner. So today we've got a double bubble Guess the Gooner. We're going to have a double Guess the Gooner today to make up for that one yesterday. Rory, I think Lavia from Southampton will be a great signing as the Saints have been relegated. We can pick him up and make him a great player. I agree, Edward. Unfortunately, Liverpool are currently winning the race for Romeo Lavia. Not us. Nathan, good to see you. I've had a good day. I've had a good day. I'm good, thank you, George. I hope you are too. So, today, what have we got to get through? Javi Simons to Arsenal. PSV player, a big prospect a couple of years ago. His career's kind of gone in a different route to what people thought it would, but apparently he's been offered to Arsenal, so we'll tuck into that. Erdegaard is being offered a new contract already. This is very good news. I want to talk about Smith Rowe. Should he stay or should he go? Obviously, we've got an update on Declan Rice, as we always do. We've got a bunch of odds and sods. And like I said, double guess the Gooner at the end of the stream as well. Thoughts on Ugarte if Caicedo doesn't happen? I like Ugarte. He's definitely someone that I would consider. If it doesn't take too long, could you make a list on one player from every PL club that you'd want to sign? That is going to be a TikTok video. I am actually going to make a TikTok video at some point of one player from every club that I would sign. Dan says, Rory reports Toney banned for 8 months. Would you still go in for him? Yes, I would. I've heard it's 6 months, not 8 months, but either way, I would go for him. Would you like to face a big team like Bayern, Barca, or Real Madrid in the UCL? I would, to test ourselves, and we won't see them in the knockouts if we progress. I mean, look, we're going to play big teams in the Champions League. The likelihood is we're going to be in pot 3. Jamie just subscribed. What a legend. Thank you. And anyone else that subscribes, I really do appreciate it. Smash a like on the video as well if you can. That genuinely does help me massively. But yeah, we're going to be in pot 3 in the Champions League. So the likelihood is we are definitely going to come up against at least one big team in our group. We'd be very fortunate for us not to be. There are some scenarios where we end up in pot 2. But that's unlikely. I'm pretty sure Brentford values Toney at 100 mil. Does that put you off? Brentford aren't getting 100 mil for Ivan Toney. Not with the ban that's going to happen as well. No chance. No chance at all. But look, we'll get into the Javi Simons thing first. Arsenal will be offered the chance to sign PSV Eindhoven Javi Simons this summer. Simons is weighing up a move and has recently switched agents, and his new agents have extensive links with Arsenal. PSG have a buyback clause in the player's contract for around £10 million. But so far, they've not made an approach. It's unclear whether Simons wants to return to Paris either. Now, if you're not familiar with Javi Simons, he actually had a great game against Arsenal this season in the Europa League group stages. But basically, he was a La Masia youth product, went through the Barcelona youth system. Highly, highly touted player. Like, so much interest in him. Had an amazingly bright future, or so everyone thought. He then went to PSG and joined the PSG Academy on a free transfer, but I'm sure money's involved in that. He progressed into the PSG senior team, but ultimately nothing ever worked out, and he was let on a free last summer to PSV. Now, obviously, they included a buyback clause in that, but certainly it was underwhelming the way his career had gone. He was like a massive future prospect. Since joining PSV last summer, though, a lot of people in and around him have said he's matured a bit. Obviously, he is only 20 years old, and he's got his career back on track, and he's had a fantastic season. So for PSV this season in Eredivisie, he scored 16 goals and got 9 assists, which is very good. He plays as a sort of central attacking midfielder, but can also play off both sides. So Very good prospect. Again, kind of not the same, but similar vibes to Martin Odegaard in terms of being this amazing prospect that was signed really young, and maybe it all got to him at that age and he didn't quite sort of make it. And he's had to go to PSV in order to rebuild from there in the same way that Odegaard kind of went to Sociedad and teams like that. So it's an interesting one. His market value, according to Transfer Market, is 30 million euros. Obviously, PSG have a buyback option of 10 million euros or 10 million pounds. But I do think it's one to keep an eye on. I do think it's one to keep an eye on in terms of if Smith Rowe goes, depending on what we do with Fabio Vieira, he's a player that can play off every position across that sort of three behind the striker. So Dan Waite said the Athletic have just confirmed that Ivan Toney is banned for 8 months. Let me just bring that up. That's interesting if he is, because Ivan Toney has been suspended from football and all football activity for 8 months, on top of a £50,000 fine by him. So he's 27 years old. He's been suspended from football, all football activity, until the 16th of January 2024. Now, what that means is that he will not be allowed to train with any club until the 16th of January 2024. That's the crucial part of that, because if you do sign him, you could just say, we'll train him, adapt him to the system until next January, and then we can play him. But he can't actually train with a squad or a club until January. So it's a big blow. Ultimately, I'm sure individually he can keep his fitness up and stuff like that. It's a big blow for him. It will be interesting to see if he moves anywhere this summer. I wonder if anyone's even allowed to sign him this summer. That'll be interesting. But there you go. That's the update on Ivan Toney. Anyway, so we will go back. I still want him. I do genuinely think it's worth the risk. What do you think of the links to Ferland Mendy? I spoke about it a little bit yesterday. It doesn't massively enthrall me. I think there's a reason that he doesn't get into the Madrid team. There's a reason he's only going to be like 17 million quid. So not massively keen on it. But yeah, there you go. That's Javi Simons. Obviously, we'll keep you updated if there's any progress in that sort of transfer rumours. At the moment, it is just a rumour that he's been offered to Arsenal, which I never really like that. Why is he being offered to Arsenal? Yeah, a top prospect club should be coming in for him. But anyway, Martin Odegaard. Arsenal are planning contract talks with Martin Odegaard as they bid to tie down core members of their title charge. The captain's deal runs out in 2025 with an option to extend for a further year. So with the option to extend, we've already got him tied down until 2026. We've got another 3 years left, and we're already entering talks to extend that or give him a new contract that extends that by another couple of years. This is what we need to be doing. This is how a proper club operates. And it's something that we've not had for a long time at Arsenal, making sure that young, good players are tied down to us for a long time so that if they do end up leaving, we get a proper transfer fee for them. Gone are the days of losing talent for free, which was just so annoying. How much is Odegaard on? I think Odegaard's on like maybe one. I can Google it actually. Odegaard wages. He's currently on 200. No, not even that. He's currently on 115 grand a week. So he's currently on 115 grand a week. And when you consider that, Martinelli's going to be getting 200 a week, Saka could be getting up towards 300k a week. Obviously, it makes sense that Odegaard's going to go up. So there you go. That makes sense. And it's just good. It's what we should be doing. And it looks like we're going to have a big summer of clearing out the players that aren't part of the future and tying down the players that are part of the future. No more, holding on to players that aren't going to be good enough and not giving long contracts to players that are going to be good enough through fear of giving them high wages that we can't afford. It's going to be a massive summer. It's about time. And it's good. It's good. It's good news. Odegaard is 100% a part of our future. Like selling Xhaka for 15 million euros. Shocking outgoing from us as usual. Do you know what? I was thinking more about the Granit Xhaka 15 million euros. It's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's more than we paid for Jorginho. Um, he is 30. He does have one sort of big contract left in him. It sounds cheap, but it's actually not that bad. I hope you haven't talked about this, but I saw Arsenal are going to offer West Ham 90 million for Rice and have him on 300k a week. Yeah, there are rumours around how much we're going to offer Declan Rice and how much we're going to offer West Ham for Declan Rice. The numbers keep jumping around, but it does seem to be around 90 million is the starting point. If you're watching on TikTok, I am live on YouTube. If you click the little Instagram icon in my bio, it can take you to my YouTube page. Get involved in the chat on YouTube. Brighton versus Newcastle predictions for tomorrow. I'm going to go 2-2 Brighton versus Newcastle. I think it should be a good game. Wow, Toney banned for 8 months. Yeah, Ivan Toney is banned for 8 months. And that's banned from all football activity. So he will not be allowed to train with a club during that time, which is problematic. Imagine if the title race was still on without Saliba, Tomiyasu, Martinelli, and Zinchenko. We'd be destroyed anyway. Yeah, I mean, it would have been brutal, right? It would have been brutal. Would hope we can have most of that as incentives. If he's good enough, he'll fill the transfer fee deservedly. Yeah, 100%. Why is Toney banned? Ivan Toney is banned for gambling offences. If you're a footballer, you're not allowed to gamble, particularly on football. And he has gambled a lot. I think he had about 250 charges of gambling. So it's a stupid thing to do. It's something that footballers know they can't do. And it was idiotic of him to do it in the first place, but it is what it is. Worried transfer talk will affect the team for the last 2 games. Not really, because I don't think it matters what happens in the last 2 games at this point. So, yeah, not really. I don't think it matters too much. And I think it's a good thing that we're tying these players down now. How can they ban him from training? Well, because he's not allowed to be involved in football activity. That's part of the ban. He's not allowed to train. He's not allowed to be part of football. It's not the club's decision, no. It's not the club's decision. And if the club let him train with them, then they'd get fined. Is Xhaka defo leaving? I reckon we got Rice lined up already. Yeah, Xhaka is definitely leaving this summer. That was confirmed yesterday. Emile Smith Rowe. It's in the title. Emile Smith Rowe, should he stay or should he go? This was coming from Simon Collins today. Arsenal are due to hold talks with Smith Rowe about his future at the end of the season. And there's nothing more on it than that, really. So there's no, with Xhaka, we know he's leaving. There's been nothing on Smith Rowe in terms of whether we think he's going to stay or go. The thing I worry about with Smith Rowe is where does he fit in next season? Because if he is, the one thing that we've heard that's like a reason for the fact that he's not been playing is that he's been training and Arteta has been mentoring him to play in the number 8 role. The issue with that is that there's not going to be a place for him in the number 8 role if we sign Declan Rice and if we sign the extra midfielder we think we're going to sign. So is he going to stay as a continued bit part player in the number 8 role? Now, his versatility is fantastic. If he learns how to play the 8 and he can play as a 10 and he can play off the left wing, that's very good and it's a very useful player to have. But I wonder from his perspective if he's willing to be another Tomiyasu, effectively a player that is versatile and is just kept on the bench in case there are injuries. I love Smith Rowe. He's one of my favourite players. But we're not seeing him play. And it's the sort of thing that Arsenal have to figure out a way of doing, right? Arsenal need to have players that are good enough to compete for a title and good enough to play in the Champions League that are willing to be on the bench. It's one of the very impressive things that Man City have done is the fact that every single player pretty much on Man City's bench is good enough to play for pretty much any other team that would be in the Champions League or fighting for a title or fighting for top 4. We don't have that yet, but I'm still not convinced that Smith Rowe is that guy playing at number 8 anyway. We've not seen him play as an 8. Thoughts on Toney being banned for 8 months? Yeah, I mean, 8 months is longer than people expected. Obviously, it throws up in the air what you can do in terms of signing him. But It will be similar to Willock. He'll go to Aston Villa and play super well. Yeah, I mean, I can see that happening. If I had to put money on what I think will happen this summer, I think Smith Rowe goes to Aston Villa for about 35 million quid, and he probably ends up doing very, very well. But, and the thing is, right, he'll go to Villa, or he'll go somewhere else. But I think if he does go, I think it'll be Villa. And he'll go there and he'll play very well. And some Arsenal fans will be like, oh, we should never have let him go. We should never have let him go. But we'll still be in a position where our squad wouldn't fit him. It's the same with Joe Willock. You know, I've seen, because of how well Joe Willock's been playing at Newcastle, I've seen people say, oh, we should never have let him go. Because when Xhaka gets injured, we'd be so much better off if we had Willock to come on in his place. But it's one of those, Willock never wanted to stay as a substitute. That's why he wanted to leave. And Smith Rowe could be the same. Yeah, Toney is banned for... Toney is banned. We've covered it. We have covered that Toney is banned for 8 months. We have covered it. If Arsenal and Barcelona plays in the Champions League final, who do you think is going to win, and why do you think so? I mean, it's impossible to know, but I would back Arsenal because I support Arsenal. Nice sell-on clause if he does go. Who's got a nice sell-on clause? Or we should put a sell-on clause in Smith Rowe's contract. Yeah, possibly. I mean, definitely. He's too good for the bench, but not quite good enough for the first team. That's the problem. And that's where you've got players like Reiss Nelson is in a very similar position. He is too good to sit on a bench, but he's not good enough to start for Arsenal ahead of any of our front three. And we've seen that this season. Toney got banned for gambling offences, 250. I mean, this is a saga that's been going on for a long time with Toney. It's just he's finally actually been banned. Who do you think will win tonight? Either way, it's going to be game of the season. I think Man City will win, but I really want Real Madrid to win. I really want Real Madrid to win. On to Declan Rice, of course, the daily Declan Rice update. This is coming from Alex Crook. Now, Alex Crook is relatively reliable. Alex Crook got the Granit Xhaka leaving story about 3 days before anyone else. About 4 days ago, Alex Crook wrote about the fact that Granit Xhaka, there was nothing around him extending his contract. So he's good. And he said on Declan Rice, he said his preferred destination, as I understand it, has always been Arsenal. The vibes we're getting is that Arsenal are going to go big this summer, not just for Declan Rice, but also for Moises Caicedo. We've heard lots of that today as well, that Arsenal are going big this summer, which is obviously good to hear. And, you know, it's just continued talk from different journalists that Declan Rice's preferred destination is Arsenal. And we've just got to make sure that we pay whatever it is that we need to pay to get him. Do you think Arteta is going for a box-to-box player to replace Xhaka or another playmaking 8 like David Silva at City? I think he's going for... if you look at Caicedo and Rice, both of them can play as a 6, both of them can play as an 8. And I think that's what he's going for. I think he's going for basically a midfield where either of them can play 8, either of them can play 6. And then I think we will get a versatile attacker as well that can play as a 10 or off the wing. Nelson offered a third contract as well today. Yeah, we will get into that a little bit. Besides Rice, who should our main priorities be in the transfer market, Rory? So I think Caicedo should be the other one for the midfield. I'll tell you what, I really am beginning to hone in on Jurrien Timber as the defender that we should go for. In terms of a versatile defender, can play right back, can play centre back, can move into CDM as well if needed. Inverts from right back into the midfield quite a lot. 21 years old, already been doing it for Ajax, already done it for the Netherlands. Jurrien Timber is becoming my number one target for the defense, which I've been on the fence about quite a bit recently, but he is becoming my priority. Who was the RB Leipzig player we talked about? That was Simikan. That was Simikan from RB Leipzig. French defender, plays centre-back and right-back. Decent player from what I've seen, but I've not seen a huge amount of him, to be honest. Odds and sods. Onto the odds and sods. Arsenal have offered Reiss Nelson a third contract offer. He's rejected the first 2, and it is still thought that he will reject the third one. Arsenal have made a new offer to Reiss Nelson this week and are eager to convince the youngster to stay. However, a cameo role may not appeal to Nelson. He's out of contract at the end of the season, and it seems as though Arsenal have made an increased bid to keep him in North London. And I do think this is the issue. I don't think he's rejecting the offers based on money. I think he's rejecting the offers based on not wanting to be a substitute. I think he's at the point in his career where you have to either pick money or sort of legacy almost. And if he wants to go and join a Brighton, for example, you can't blame him. You can't blame him. We've just got over 50 concurrent viewers in the YouTube chat. That's absolutely unbelievable. If you could smash a like on the video, bottom right-hand corner whilst you're here, that would be fantastic. Absolutely seems that we're over 50 viewers again. Do you think Smith Rowe should be able to fit into the number 8 role? Does he give enough defensive cover? Well, that's what we need to find out, because we've not seen it from him in the past, but you never know. You never know. Apparently, that's potentially what Arteta's been trying to mold him into. Have I missed Guess the Gooner? No, we've got a double bill of Guess the Gooner coming up, so stay tuned. It's possible Reiss wants first team football and we're not going to give it to him. Exactly. And I do think Arsenal have been good at having these honest conversations with players that are not in the plans for the starting 11 next season. There is a good chance that Arteta has already kind of on paper got the starting 11 he wants if everyone is fit next season. And if you're not in that starting 11, including the people that we're going to bring in, and we're being honest about that, then you can understand why some players will want to leave. There will be players that will take the money and happily be a substitute. But if Reiss Nelson isn't one of those, Granit Xhaka clearly isn't one of those, then you've got to let them go. And as hard as that is, I can't really blame them. Joe, I did answer the question about the priorities for the transfer market. Hope we give Xhaka a memorable send-off for his last game. I do too. The only other odds and sods, Gabriel Martinelli will miss Arsenal's final 2 matches of the season after suffering ankle ligament damage. That was in that challenge with Moises Caicedo. Martinelli is expected to be sidelined for a number of weeks, but barring any setbacks, should return in pre-season ahead of the new campaign. That's coming from David Ornstein. So, unfortunately, Martinelli is out for the season. It means that he finishes the season on 15 goals, tied with Bobby Firmino for the most goals in a Premier League season from a Brazilian. So, unfortunately, he's not going to break that record now. And, lots of people asking for Guess the Gooner. So we will get into Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you an ex or current Arsenal player's career path minus the Arsenal part of it, and you have to guess who that player is based on that career path. Obviously, immense level of pride goes to the person that gets this in the YouTube chat. If you're watching on TikTok, you want to get involved on the YouTube chat, the little Instagram icon in my TikTok bio will send you to the YouTube page. I can't actually remember who won 2 days ago. Was it Ross Lawman? Was it someone else? I can't remember. But there's a double bubble today. So there's 2 opportunities to be the Guess the Gooner winner in the chat today. Will someone win both? Time will tell. Is Zinni out for the season? He is. It wasn't Ross. I can't remember who it was. That's bad. But look, this is your first. Guess the Gooner. This player started at Servette FC. They were on loan at AC Milan. They were on loan at Everton. They then went to Fulham, Valencia, Aston Villa, Grasshoppers, Rangers, Houston, and Chiasso. So there you go. Servette FC, AC Milan on loan, Everton on loan, Fulham, Valencia, Aston Villa, Grasshoppers, Rangers, Houston, FC Chiasso. Someone's got it on TikTok. No one yet has got it on YouTube. It's not Kolasinac. It's not Aubameyang. It's not Mustafi, Leno, Ramsey, Flamini, Torreira. It's none of them. George Taylor has got it. It was a harder one today, but it is indeed Philippe Senderos. What a man, Philippe Senderos. George Taylor wins it. George Christodoulou comes second. Sunix came third, Turbs came fourth, And Leo came 5th. So there you go, Philippe Senderos. What a player. What a player he was. To be honest, I'd completely forgotten that he did stints at Fulham and Aston Villa. I'd completely forgotten. Never had a chance with that one. Yeah, it was a tricky one. It was a tricky one. Let me bring up the second one. The question is George Taylor capable of getting back-to-back? Is he capable of getting the double bubble? We shall see. So, this Guess the Gooner. They went to Celta Vigo on loan. They went to Celta Vigo on loan. They went to Salamanca on loan. They went to Osasuna on loan. They went to West Brom on loan. They went to Sociedad on loan. They went to Sociedad permanently. And they went to LAFC. Who is it? That again, Celta Vigo on loan, Salamanca on loan, Osasuna on loan, West Brom on loan, Real Sociedad on loan, Real Sociedad permanently, and LAFC. And it is indeed Carlos Vela. And there's so many. That's gone by so quickly. I didn't even see who got it first. The first person to get it was on my screen, Wayne92. Wayne92 got it first. It wasn't Dennis Suarez. It wasn't Cazorla. It was indeed Carlos Vela. Wayne92 came first. Ross Lawman second. Daniel Dangerfield third. Nathan Price fourth. And Rumbo came fifth. So there you go. Our two big winners today were George Taylor and Wayne92. Congratulations to them. Fantastic levels of pride to them. Guess the Gooner. Their ball knowledge is on point. We hit 70 viewers during that as well, which is massive. Massively appreciate it. Genuinely didn't know he played for Arsenal. Well, now you know, George. Now you know. And finally, we've got a Guess the Non-Gooner. We do have a Guess the Non-Gooner. Let me just bring it up. I had it up yesterday, but it's gone. This was the Guess the Non-Gooner that was meant to happen yesterday, but didn't because the stream crashed. So this is your Guess the Non-Gooner. This is a player that has never played for Arsenal, doesn't play for Arsenal, and I give you their full career path. So they started at Anderlecht. They went to Chelsea. They went to West Brom on loan. They went to Everton on loan. They went to Everton permanently. Then Manchester United, Inter Milan, Chelsea, Inter Milan on loan. Who is it? It's an easy one. It is when he's on, my man Rom. Big Romelu Lukaku and Joe Edits got it first in the YouTube chat. Wayne92 second, Ross Lawman third, George Taylor fourth, and Nathan Price was fifth. Ross Lawman with two top threes. There you go. There you go. That is Romelu Lukaku. Crap, my laptop died. George's laptop died. To the Lord, my PC didn't die. We've made it through a stream. The PC hasn't died. The internet hasn't died. We've done back-to-back Guess the Gooner, and it's been a good one. It has been a good one. But there you go. There you go. That was pretty much it. The only other news that we keep hearing is just that Arsenal are going to spend a shitload of money this summer. David Ornstein said it as well today, that Arsenal are looking at having a massive, massive summer, and also that Arsenal are looking at moving quickly this summer. That's the other key thing. Not just that Arsenal are looking to spend a lot of money, but that we're looking to spend it quickly, early in the summer, which is a big, big win for us if we get it done. Because ultimately, the longer you go into the summer, the more you end up paying for players, the fewer players are available, and it's just not where you want to be. And I do genuinely think that the way that Arsenal are behaving at the moment is that of a proper club. Which is good to see. Toney has been banned for 8 months. To be fair, people saying Arsenal are going to smash the spend means club will ask for more. It can do. It can mean that, yeah, which would be annoying, but we'll see. You see us getting Reiss in before letting Xhaka go? Probably, yeah, probably. The only thing I'd say, Ross, about clubs asking for more because they know we've got a lot to spend, Arsenal have done some good things to make sure that clubs might not necessarily demand too much of us, in terms of giving up on Mudryk when we needed to, in terms of giving up on Caicedo when we needed to. It is good that we've proven that there is a line that we will not cross when it comes to signing players. 15 mil for Xhaka is nothing. I'd rather keep him for another year and let him go for free. I just don't know about that. Is 50 genuinely right? This is having a pop at you, Sammy, but 15 million to keep Granit Xhaka on the Arsenal bench. Is it worth 15 million for that? I don't think it is. I don't think it's worth 15 million to get maybe 8 to 10 appearances out of him across a season. I don't think that's worth it. Nearly at 2.3 subscribers. Let's try and hit 2.3 subscribers. Why not? If you're on the YouTube or if you're on TikTok and you can just hit the Instagram icon on my bio, head over to the YouTube channel, hit subscribe. Why not? Why not? Think 20 would be a much better figure. I mean, it would be a much better figure, but the market is the market ultimately. If there's no one that wants to buy Granit Xhaka for 20 million, you're not going to get 20 million for him. What are you choosing? Keep Nketiah or sell him and buy Martial? Because if he's playing, he scores, so maybe a game changer. I'm just not buying Martial. Martial's the most injury-prone player I've ever seen. So I'm just not buying Martial. Are you live on IG? No, I'm live on TikTok. I go live on TikTok and on YouTube. But look, that is going to be the end of the stream on YouTube. I massively appreciate you all for turning up as usual. It was a good stream. Very good stream. We will be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. as always. Obviously, going to be a great evening of football. Hopefully, Madrid get the job done. I would love it. I would absolutely love it. I hope you all have a fantastic evening. I hope you have a great day tomorrow. And yeah, please do subscribe if you're not already. And I'll catch you all tomorrow. Goodbye.